Here's the truth why you're not seeing the gains that you seek. Every gym in the world has this guy. Shows up consistently, 3 or 4 days a week. He's got his program he ripped out of Men's Health magazine or one that he downloaded from some fitness influencer on Instagram. And you notice something about this guy. Months, years go by, and he's just not getting any bigger. He's not getting any stronger. Now, one day you overhear this guy talking with some of the other gym bros. Bro, what am I doing wrong? Bro, you got to up your volume. More reps, more sets. That's the key to getting big and strong. Now, is that true? To maximize your gains, is it really as simple as more equals better? Does more training volume truly equal more muscle? Here's the no BS, cold, hard truth. There are three other variables that are much more important before volume becomes an important factor in determining your results. Now, ultimately, this is a question of quality versus quantity. And you might be thinking to yourself, duh, I know the quality is important, but do you know precisely what high quality training looks like? Now, you might want to save this video to watch before you go into the gym the next time, because we're going to go deep into the nitty gritty details so you know exactly what you should be focusing on for every single repetition of every single exercise to make sure that you are getting the most benefit from that time and effort that you're putting in at the gym. We're going to break this down step by step, going over the most common errors and how to correct them, so you don't end up wasting thousands of hours just lifting weights without getting results like I did. Key number one is form. In my experience, this term is commonly used, but very rarely properly understood. When exercise scientists speak of form, we're talking about proper joint alignment and appropriate biomechanics that optimally train the target muscles of that exercise. Take the split squat, for example. There are different ways to properly execute a split squat that are safe and effective, but which variation, the specific biomechanics, lever arms, joint angles, etc., you choose determines which muscles the exercise specifically targets. A split squat can focus on glutes or quads, or a combination of the two, depending on the form you use. Sadly, when many regular folks try to perform a split squat in the gym, they often have their joints aligned in such a manner so that the majority of the stress of the movement gets put on their knees. This can be quickly fixed for most people by first making sure they are set up with the majority of their body weight on the front leg, and they maintain strong contact with the ground through their entire foot. Think a tripod from the heel to the big toe to the little toe, and their front knee then tracks towards the midline of their front foot as they go up and down. The second key is execution. So you have your form dialed in, and you know how to properly perform the movement in a way that minimizes the stress to your joints, which will minimize your injury risk too, and maximize the stress applied to the targeted muscles. Now you must focus and execute every single rep with that form in a controlled manner that minimizes cheating. We have to recognize that without any deliberate intention on your part, your body will find ways to cheat. It'll find ways to minimize the stress applied to your muscles. Our body's default is to always conserve calories. Muscles burn a lot of calories. Joints, on the other hand, do not. Realize your body will preferentially load your joints and connective tissue before it loads your muscles. Furthermore, it will use momentum. It will slightly shift your body to give you a sneaky advantage that will make the lift easier but less stressful on your muscles. For example, leaning. It will try to recruit different muscles other than those you're targeting to avoid the application of excessive stress on the target muscles. But stressing the hell out of those target muscles is exactly what we're trying to accomplish, and that is exactly what is going to yield the greatest gains in strength and muscle mass. Sadly, your body does not want to get bigger and stronger. It wants to maintain homeostasis. Your body wants to stay the same. You have to force it to adapt by applying deliberate stress, executing every single repetition with focused precision. Now, before we dive into this final and perhaps most important key to getting results, please consider sending this video to someone you know that might also benefit from this message. It's word of mouth referrals like this that go a long way to help me on my mission to help as many people I can live longer and live stronger. I truly appreciate your support. The third and final key is intensity. So our form is dialed in. We're focused on executing every repetition with precision. We're good to go now, right? Not quite. There are two aspects of intensity that we need to address. Number one, in order to maximize the quality of every repetition, we need to contract the target muscles as hard as possible during the concentric phase. Initiating the lift with control using those targeted muscles, building mind muscle connection that several studies have demonstrated lead to better gains. Then slowly lowering the weight during the eccentric phase. Also, several studies support stronger gains made during a slow, controlled eccentric, which is the strongest part of any movement. Then fully lengthening the muscle at the end of the eccentric, then pausing during this most challenging part of the movement. Doing all that on every single repetition checks our first box for intensity. To check our second intensity box, we need to perform as many reps as it takes to get us within 1 to 3 reps of failure on every set. And we'll define failure as the point where it is impossible to complete another rep without cheating. And there are dozens of studies that demonstrate the huge benefits of taking sets close to failure. Now, this doesn't have to be absolute failure, just close, very close to it. In fact, I'll argue you will get better results over time, stopping 1 to 3 reps short of absolute failure than going all the way. First, there are several studies that demonstrate we get pretty much the same results going to failure versus stopping 1 to 3 reps short. And second, when do you think is the part of the set when you're most likely to injure yourself? Yep, it's those last reps when you're just about exhausted. It requires intense focus and discipline to stop yourself from cheating when you're fatigued. Sometimes all it takes is one little cheat that puts excessive stress on your joints or connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, etc., to cause an injury. An injury that might keep you out of the weight room for several weeks or months, destroying the muscle gains you worked so hard for. So going all the way to absolute failure is at best equivalent to picking up pennies in front of a steamroller barreling down towards you. Conversely, doing all the things we've talked about in this video are equivalent to picking up a big fat gold coin in front of a kid on a tricycle. If you dial in your form, execution, and intensity, you'll have pockets full of gold coins. No need to risk anything for those pennies. Now, as far as volume is concerned, doing 5 hard sets, the way we described so far in this video, for every muscle group at least once per week is where everyone should start. Focusing on your form, execution, and intensity for every rep, every set. If you're not doing these things in your training now, training 5 hard sets this way every week will yield huge gains. Fair warning, you will likely experience muscle soreness unlike anything you've ever felt before training this way. As you progress and those gains start to slow, 5 sets per week will become the minimum needed to maintain those gains. And you'll have to step up to doing 10 to 20 sets per muscle per week to continue to make gains. So the bottom line here is more better. Well, sometimes better is always better. And that is really where almost all of us should be focusing first and foremost, getting better quality movement, better quality sets every time we step into the gym. By first focusing on form, execution, and intensity, you will achieve greater results in less time and with a significantly reduced risk of injury. This is training intelligently and efficiently. Now, what do you think? Has this been your experience or do you disagree? Now, if you've made it this far in the video, you should definitely hit that subscribe button so you can learn how to live longer, live stronger, and maximize your health span. Make sure to check out this next video here, and I will see you in the comments below.